Get her done! Hi, ugly. It's me, Bussy Eyelash, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we'll be covering the latest in the Nicky Doll defamation lawsuit, Bianca Del Rio clapping back at a politician on Twitter, and reviewing episode 3 of Canada's Drag Race vs. the World Series 2, the Glamorous Drag Queen Ball. So in last week's video, we talked about how Nicky Doll, among other drag queens, participated in an opening events ceremony of the Summer Olympics. And while the segment was intended, of course, to celebrate diversity and inclusion, it was criticized heavily by conservative media for mocking the Last Supper, a biblical portrait of Jesus Christ and the 12 Apostles. And one of those conservative commentators called Nicky Doll and the other people participating in the segment PDF files, which ultimately led to Nicky Doll threatening litigation against this commentator, Laurence Fox. Since then, there have been several developments in this case, including the artistic director of that opening ceremony segment coming out to say that nothing about this was intended to mock or imitate the Last Supper at all. And according to an article in Today.com, Jolly confirmed that the Last Supper was not my inspiration, and instead his idea was apparently to have a pagan celebration connected to the gods of Olympus, pointing out a depiction of Dionysus, the god of celebration, as being a big part of this, and saying in this article, "You will never find in me a desire to mock or denigrate anyone." And as of August 2nd, Nicky Doll officially announced on her Twitter profile that she is continuing to pursue litigation against this person, Laurence Fox, who called her and the other people in the group PDF files. On her X profile, she wrote, "I will never again allow myself and other queer people to be defamed and demonized. If responding with love doesn't work for some, then responding with justice should work. See you in court." And attached to that post is a letter with some legal letterhead that I've used Google Translate to get an English reading of. And it says, "Following the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games on July 26, 2024, the artist who performed on the Debley footbridge suffered an unprecedented wave of hatred and faced the trivialization of insults due to sexual orientation or gender identity. The firm was notified by Mr. Carl Sanchez, known as Nicky Doll, of a defamation complaint filed against Mr. Laurence Fox and other users of the social network X, Twitter. Nicky Doll, who's been receiving insults and hate messages for years, has suffered an unprecedented wave of animosity and ill will since her performance on the festivity table of the ceremony, going as far as death threats. These messages go far beyond artistic criticism and for some convey odious and defamatory amalgams equating drag performances and pedophilia. These comparisons are serious and unacceptable. And I of course wish nothing but happiness and success in all the legal proceedings that will follow this case. And I've got to absolutely commend her for not only standing up for herself and everyone else who is on that stage, but really in a larger sense, all of the queer community here who are targeted victims of hatred online every single day. And in other drag queens clapping back at hateful bigots online news, because there's been a lot of that recently, we've got Bianca Del Rio clapping back at a conservative politician from the US named Valentina Gomez, who has taken the not surprising right-wing conservative stance that transgender athletes should not compete against female athletes. And in a video message posted to her X profile, she said, "These F words don't belong in women's sports," and went on to say, sorry, it like almost reads as parody. It's so hateful and crazy. I can't believe somebody said this. "These F words should get their own F category because before..." This is insane. This bitch is crazy. Because before, if a man hit a woman, it used to land him in jail. Now it gets you a gold medal at the Olympics. Oh my god. She went on stating, "These are the worst Olympics in history. They made a mockery out of Christianity and women. And let me remind you, there's no such thing as a chick with a keep women's sports female." And by the way, the craziest thing about all of this is that this athlete is not even trans. In an AP News article about the situation, they report that the International Olympic Committee spokesperson Mark Adams said Friday that Khalif was born female, registered female, lived her life as a female, boxed as a female, and has a female passport. Which means this whole thing with this, in my opinion, crazy Valentina person is that she's just running some wild witch hunt solely meant to stir up conservatives on her side of the aisle, and all in the name of hatred of pretty much everyone under the LGBTQ+IA umbrella. And y'all, this is why voting is so important. This person is apparently running for Missouri's Secretary of State, and ooh, y'all better get out and vote on that one, because that's crazy. And in response to Valentina's post to her X profile containing video with all of that explicit language, Bianca Del Rio responds writing, "If only you had an F word to properly wax your upper lip and eyebrows. No wonder you're bitter." And then Valentina apparently blocked Bianca after that post, and Bianca wrote with a screenshot showing the block, "Unlike a, she couldn't take it. Get her, Jade." And on another serious note, y'all better register to vote because this is going to be one of the biggest elections of our lifetimes. And y'all better get registered as early as possible. Just go to vote.gov. It's that easy. Get her done. Get her done. Oh my god, so redneck of me in my little hat. Get her done. And now on to Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World Series 2. Oh my god, if I had lipstick on my teeth this whole time. That's so get her done of me. That's so Julia, so Brad. In which our remaining internationally acclaimed queens were challenged to serve 3 looks in the Glamorous Drag Queen Ball. AI-generated drag, slay, Queen Hunty. Robots have taken over. And supermodels of the new world. And now first up in the order they hit the runway, it's Lemon, who comes out in a pink rhinestone gown with the craziest proportions we have ever seen Miss Lemon in. A gown which she says has over 250,000 rhinestones. Can we get a count on that? And this look really took me by surprise because it's so out there, especially for someone like Lemon. The hips are dropped way too low and her huge giant triangles coming off the sides of her look. And I really appreciate her thoughtful approach here to getting all of the details wrong in like a kooky, fun way. This look is hot. And for our second robots have taken over runway, she is giving us the Meowbot 2000, which is basically a furry's fursona suit, but with no fur. It's all mirrors. And this look definitely has a wow factor when she hits the stage. And as a piece of stage wear for a performance, I think this look is really cool, but as a piece of like drag fashion meant to showcase somebody's unique and personal drag, I'm not sure it hits that mark. Because really, like, anybody could wear this and look just as sickening as Lemon in it, but it is still cool, so I'm gonna give it a safe 3 flame hot. And finally, her Supermodels of the New World look she created in the workroom. She here is giving us a little purple pink tutu kind of thing, which is kind of giving me like my first dance recital vibes, but in space. And honestly, the first thing I noticed about this look were the shoes, which I absolutely hated with this look. I really hate those shoes. And the more I started looking at the details of this look, I was like, what exactly was she going for? Because it's kind of a look that says, I've got a toddlers and tiaras competition at 5. I've got to pick the kids up after the PTA meeting at 7. And then I'm also grabbing drinks with my husband at his office party at 9. Maybe they're giving commentary on how women of the future can do it all. But for as many things as this look tried to do, I don't think any of them were truly giving Supermodel of the New World. And so for that reason, I'm gonna give it a. And next up, Tynomi Banks. When her AI-generated drag look is tapping into those like oversized beach t-shirts with the hot bodies that you maybe see in like a tourist shop, which I think is a really funny concept to tap into for drag in any other context besides serving a look on the RuPaul's Drag Race runway. Because as the judges point out, like it literally is just giving t-shirt. And even worse, it was really difficult to tell what exactly was on the shirt until she was literally just standing still at the end of the runway being like, look, this is what this is. And on top of that reference not totally working for the Drag Race runway, there was also the issue of AI not clearly being represented in this look. So I'm gonna give this look a. And for her droids-inspired look, she's giving us, I think, the best of her 3 looks tonight. And I like that this look has a clear, consistent vision with the point of view of where she's pulling these references from, like possibly C-3PO or Astro Boy that she names. And while I don't feel this look is super innovative or fresh, I do like that it has clean lines, and I totally get what she's serving here, so I'm gonna give this a safe hot. And as for her final look, she is serving us an adequate dress made of material. And the guest judge, Kirk's reaction to this dress sums up about how I feel about it as well. Like, just very whelmed. But what I will say are the hair and mug are absolutely gorgeous. Like, that has really been consistent for her on this season. But that same vision is just not being captured in her runways. And this dress did have some really good ideas, like that asymmetrical giant shoulder, and I think the green metallic fabric was fine. But then I honestly think she kind of ruined it with this sash moment that's haphazardly draped across her body. I'm gonna give this look a rot. And next up, Eureka, you found it. When her first look comes out serving balls. Balls to the walls. Balls to the galls. Balls to the malls. Spaceballs. And I could have been okay with this like ball pit fantasy. You know, we've seen similar things on the Drag Race runway before, but something about this just feels so unfinished to me. It's like the AI started generating the look and then she shut the computer off before it got below her chest. Like it's just so top heavy and kind of is giving she's got a nasty infection up here or something. Plus I don't love glasses on the runway, so I'm gonna give this look a. And for her second robots have taken over runway, she lets us know that she's here to serve you down on her knees. But be careful because this droid's known for having issues with its knees. Okay, that was a little nasty. I'm so sorry. So sorry to Eureka's knees. But on a real note, I did really enjoy this look. It's so over the top and like for no reason at all. I love the crazy proportionizing that she has done in this. She looks wild. And I love how on every hip and shoulder and moment she has a little like android turbine or robot metal armor piece or something. And so I'm gonna give this look a hot. But what really blew me away tonight was her final runway. She absolutely ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner in this look. It is so sick. And I think it looks so cool mostly because of that sickening material choice that she made. It's like a copper color that she also says has metal infused into the garment somehow. It's got some beautiful vertical rouging in the chest part of the gown. And then she's accessorized it so beautifully with this neck and shoulder and cape fabric that gives some really great contrast and drama to the look. Plus, she has really leaned into this Club Kid futurism concept with a nude mesh face bikini that has rhinestones on it and a signature Eureka loaf to top it all off. This look is creative, fun, innovative, futuristic, and totally hot. Next up, bam! It's Alexis Mateo. And as we see in her first look, she did not come to play today at all. This is absolutely giving AI generated drag. This is such a beautiful garment she is wearing on the runway. I love all of that beautiful swervy movement in it that very much is giving that kind of AI generated paintbrush thing. Plus that pale gold paired with that striking blue gloves and boots is just absolutely beautiful. And she's matched the whole look to her hair and makeup. She absolutely killed this runway. She looks so gorgeous and this is totally AIHOT. But you know what's even better than AI generated drag? Real drag. Like mine. And my real drag wouldn't be possible without people like you and my generous patrons over at patreon.com/bussyqueen. That's my members only website where my patron family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my YouTube videos and access to tons of exclusive videos like reactions to every episode of Drag Race that I review. That's right, all you've got to do is click the link below to join my Patreon and bam, you can watch all my reactions to RuPaul's Drag Race raw. Just like you were kicking back on the couch with a good Judy, except it's me. I'm the good Judy. Anyways, can't wait to see you there. Click the link below. But her slay does not stop there because in the second runway, she came to gag us all again. It's so beautiful and glamorous in that traditional pageant way that is such a big part of her drag, but also so futuristic and forward thinking with these beautiful chrome fabrics and like metal looking armor pieces on this trumpet skirt gown. It's so insane. And she's topped it all off with some silly little camp details like the little ear antennas coming out of both sides. And it's clear to me she not only had fun with this look, but looks great in it. And it's totally hot. And for her final look, she's going for more monochrome, robotic supermodel fantasy with all chromes and silvers. Not only does she have this beautiful silver gown, but it has these really gorgeous, like thin shoulder arm pieces that are just so overdramatic and over the top. Paired with the giant gray mohawk style hair and some really cool, almost like aquatic futurism stylistic accessories on the ears and eyes. And while this isn't my favorite look in the category, I think she should be really proud of this look because it is sickening. And it feels like the perfect thematic capstone for this ball package. And she looks totally hot. And the next queen to slay, Queen Hunty, is Kennedy Davenport. And for her first look, AI generated drag. She's giving me like what every single queen who has done some kind of Judy Jetson hooker or like this is the future of drag look has worn. She's got those metallic chrome accessories, some kind of weird little headpiece, and really blown out makeup. And this look is not good in any sense of the word. However, on the question of if an AI would generate a look like this, I actually have to argue that it probably would, because AI can only generate images based on what it knows, meaning like it can only make something based on a prior existing data set, probably resulting in it generating something reminiscent of this. But did this look 8? No, it starved. This look is a but did her second look 8, 9, 10. Let's take a look. So my first thought when I saw this was R2-D2, and then I started looking at the silhouette that she's presenting, and the silhouette is kind of like Palpatine vibes. And so in a sense, I really like the commentary of her being like a Sith overlord, but like inspired by R2-D2. And to be clear, I do actually really like the silhouette of this look. I just hate the fabric, and I hate the like cyborg print all over it. It just looks really cheap and kind of reminiscent of that robot roller skate runway from Amazon that Bob wore back on season 8. And also, can we talk about the literal strip of LED tape lights just wrapped around her neck? Not in any form or fashion. She literally was leaving the workroom. She said, wait, let me get some of those. Boop, boop, boop. Turn them on. then the giant Uzi Vert diamond on her forehead. What is that? This look is crazy and like not in a good way. It's gonna be a... And finally, she is presenting us something that is silver, shiny, and stretch. And it is all of those things. And if the runway brief weren't Supermodel of the New World, I would probably say this was like a safe hot. There's just nothing about this that feels supermodel-y. It's a cocktail dress. Much less does any part of this truly feel futuristic. It just kind of feels like those same cliche futurism concepts that we've seen many times on Drag Race before. And worse even, she's got a hair bow on her head for the wig, which is very early 2010s coded, referencing Gaga and Sia. This looks a rot. And next up, Miss Fiercalicious, the Petulant. Her first look, Slay Queen Hunty, is easily one of the most interesting and artistic looks on the runway tonight. Period. When you start to zoom in on this look at the eyes, the like 3 different irises and pupils, and how elements of that front fur stuff are coming off in odd random places and kind of have like a blur effect to the eye. The way her wig just kind of goes off into a weird swirly shape and some of the fingers are too long. And it reminds me of some of the very early AI memes that would be like, name one thing in this room, and it would be a picture of what at first appeared to be a room with random items strewn about, but it was literally impossible to identify any single one of them. And Miss Fiercalicious captured that. This look is hot. Plus, I also love that it's kind of like maybe a low-key reference to her prior 2 Drag Race design runways. The one, and then also the silver triangle one. This is the love child of those looks. And for her second robot-inspired look, she is giving us a little bit of Buzzalina Lightyear. This look was so sick. I lived for this. It was a full show. She's got a little propeller on top of her head, which I think was maybe hurting her neck a little, because you can see she's like holding her head this way the entire runway, but we'll give that a pass. And then it also had working mechanical robot droid wings that would pop out here and there and close. Girl, it was fully functional. And not to directly compare the queens too much, but seeing these armor pieces throughout the look and having these real mechanical elements to it, contrasted with just like seeing cyborg printed on fabric, it's an ocean of difference. This look was hot. And for her final look, she created in the workroom. My fair lady? Yes, I do. So Fierce here is presenting a satin lavender boned gown, complete with a beautiful trumpet skirt, a hat with pearls details matching all of her pearl accessories. And generally speaking, this look absolutely took my breath away when she hit the runway. She looks so beautiful. She's giving rich Victorian age fashion, which is kind of also the problem, because the challenge was to present Supermodel of the New World, not Supermodel of the Old World. And there really is just nothing about it that feels futuristic to me. Regardless though, I would give this look a hot. And finally, it's Cheryl minus the hole. And in her first AI generated runway, she absolutely gagged me for filth. Like, this is easily my most favorite Cheryl runway I have ever seen. The bows are so cute. The color palette is absolutely adorable. The little Whoville kind of bun up hair moment is so fierce. And I think she did capture that kind of robotic, futuristic quality with the plastic materials that were used to create all those bows and raincoat that are under them. I absolutely loved this look. It was totally hot. But things did take a turn for the worse for her. In her second look, she is kind of giving robot in like a curvy, swervy, armor, futuristic, chromatical way. But the silhouette on this is really strange to me. And the way all the pieces work together, like, I don't know really what she was trying to evoke. What is bad is the feet in rhinestone stockings in heels sticking out of all this crazy exterminator armor stuff. Like, that's crazy. She said, I'm gonna put on a Megazord suit and then just have my little foot sticking out. This look is a rot. And finally, for Supermodel of the New World runway, she says she is serving us some Carrie Bradshaw sitting in the front row of the fashion show. And I love that fantasy for her. There is an angle of this dress that I do like. And it's like that side shot where you can see that rouging going up the side of the dress. Like, that's cute. But yeah, I really don't like a lot about this look. I think the hair is particularly bad. And I hate all those little tiny crystals on the front of the dress. What is that? It looks like that trypophobia pictures that like trigger me a little bit. It's like where there's like holes in skin or something. That's what that's giving me. I don't like that at all. It's a wrap. But what a ball that was. Concerning placements, Eureka gets called out as safe and everyone else is in the top or bottom, and Alexis Mateo ultimately ends up with the win. And overall, I think this was a very fair assessment from the judges of Canada's Drag Race. And Alexis Mateo was overall, all looks considered, I think the most deserved winner of this ball. Even though I did like some of the other girls' last final looks a bit better, like Eureka's and even Fierce's. And I think the only thing keeping Fierce away from a win here was that her final look just didn't say futuristic enough. But this was not something Fierce was ready to grapple with, because as soon as the queens go back to the Untucked workroom after they find out Alexis is the winner, she starts to throw an absolute fit. She is absolutely just going off about how she doesn't know what else she could do. She gave it her all, and like, what else do the judges want from her? And we do hear her make some comments where she's lashing out at some of the other girls, in particular Lemon, whose mirrored catsuit she calls out, which is something she did elaborate about on the X platform when a user there posted about the catsuit Lemon wore on the runway. They wrote, okay, Fiercalicious really clocked this, huh? Hashtag Canada's Drag Race. Still a cool look though. And best all-star season of Drag Race in a while, where they've got an image of the catsuit Lemon apparently wore where it could be ordered online. And Miss Fiercalicious responds to this writing, the reason I went off on Lemon and Untucked was because Brad said this look was going to go down in the Drag Race history as one of the best looks of all time, which got cut. Nothing wrong with buying things online, but going down in herstory for it? So I responded, let me resubscribe to Amazon so I can go down in herstory too, also got cut. To which Lemon responded, which is also why I dragged Miss Petulant's messy outfit back. And just for those curious, I worked with the original designer who makes these mirror costumes in Poland. Love your wrinkly hat though. And Miss Fierce replied to that saying, works closely to do what? Add lights in the eyes? You did look great though, sis. I just ran to add Drag Race herstory to my cart as well. And to that Lemon responds, at least I could tilt my head straight up without my twirling halo stopping. Was there something on the floor, sister? And then Miss Fierce responds, yeah, your Kendall Jenner hips were distracting me, with an image of Lemon's dress from tonight's runway right next to Miss Kendall Jenner's runway from the finale. And Lemon says, OMG, don't drag her into this. Mine was supposed to be wonky. Well, nobody is safe in Canada. And after the Canada sisters shared some sisterly love for each other on Twitter, Fierce did follow up on her ex profile writing, all that being said, I'm happy for Alexis Mateo. She killed it this episode. Now someone take my phone away from me. Thank you, Canada's Drag Race, for giving us more drama in 3 episodes than 12 episodes of All Stars 9. Thank you. But I also have got to call out, the girls weren't just fighting amongst themselves. Fierce was also having a little diva off with Traci Melchor. Because if you'll remember last episode, she described Fierce's acting in the whole sketch as petulant, which Fierce learned in the workroom later that day meant bratty little child in essence. And so Fierce then proceeded to bring that word up directly to Traci in the mini challenge, the workroom walkthrough, and in the judging critiques, to which Traci finally said, that's getting a little one note, isn't it? Gagged her a little bit for sure. I was like, ooh, Traci's not playing. She's not playing anymore. She was having fun, but like, not anymore. She said, not today, Satan. Anyways, we do finally learn that Alexis Mateo is choosing to give the Golden Beaver to Kennedy Davenport, one of our bottom 3, alongside Tynomi Banks and Cheryl minus the hole, which I think was absolutely the right choice on the part of Alexis, because ultimately Tynomi and Cheryl have had weaker overall performances in this competition so far than Kennedy, and were 2 of the weakest tonight in the ball. And so these 2 end up lip syncing to What the Hell by Avril Lavigne, which was a lip sync that happened. They did that. And Cheryl was ultimately able to capture a little bit more of that like punk, like I'm so cool, I'm so rad, Avril energy over Tynomi, who felt a little more generic in this lip sync when compared with Cheryl. And so I think the judges did here also make the right choice when they asked Cheryl to stay. So we say goodbye to Tynomi Banks. And finally, let's talk hottest hots on the runway tonight. In the AI generated drag category, I'm gonna give it to Miss Fiercalicious. In the robots are taking over category, I'm gonna give it to Alexis Mateo. And for supermodels of the new world, I'm gonna give it to Eureka. And I, of course, also asked my patrons to vote on their hottest hots, and tonight they've chosen Alexis Mateo, Lemon, and Alexis Mateo, respectively. And finally, I want to give a special thank you and shout out to Robin King, Pilar Munair, Ringley, Haley Shimmer, Yulia Martinez, and Faith Meyer, who've all joined my Patreon at the hot and hottest hot tiers, and Ashton, Felicia, Laura, Matthew Burns. And Will and Tana, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier at patreon.com. See you later. Love ya. Bye. Thunder. God, I'm beautiful.